Gotcha. All right. So what made you decide to join our one-on-one coaching program?
It was because I knew I wanted to breastfeed, but I didn't have the resources to breastfeed. So I knew from my first pregnancy and from my first child that it was going to be very difficult. And there was not a whole lot of help in the hospitals or even before the hospital. And so I was like, nope, this is what we have to do. And I just said, okay, we have to get some other help, because I knew it was going to be one of the hardest things I've done. So I reached out and I was like, I need help.
Woohoo!
Everyone,
Glad you did.
this is
So
Katelyn,
well.
by the way. This is Katelyn. We love her very much. She's doing an amazing job. So question number 2. So describe where you were at before you started our program, like emotionally, mentally. What was that state for you?
I was scared, but I was determined. And scared because I did have such a bad experience with my first. And so I was scared that I was going to have a bad experience with my second. And I didn't want that. So I was determined to find something to help.
Yeah.
And I was lucky enough to come across y'all.
Yay! So part 2 of that question is, how do you feel now experiencing the one-on-one coaching? Like, what's the difference now?
I am so much more confident in where I have been, what I have gotten to do. And I love breastfeeding. I never in a million years thought I would say that, but I love it. And I look forward to every session because it is our little bonding time. And I never got that with my son. And so I feel very confident and happy and successful.
Yay! What we like
So
to hear.
awesome. Oh, I'm so glad. Wow. All right. So, what do you think made the biggest impact on you, or anything else while you were in our one-on-one coaching program?
It was the Zoom call that I had right before I gave birth, because the Zoom call that we had was literally like 3 days before I gave birth. And if I didn't have that, I wouldn't know what the proper latch was. I wouldn't know the feeding cues. I wouldn't know if I needed help. And then after I gave birth, and even while I was in the hospital, I was able to send y'all pictures and get y'all's help immediately and not have to wait forever to see a specialist or whatever. And y'all were able to actually physically help me, even though y'all aren't physically here.
Yes, that's such a big part, is that we're virtual, but it works, like we can do it. So what would you say to somebody who's on the fence about working with Mamas Maternal Health? What would you say to them? What would you say?
I would say go for it, take the risk, take the jump, because if I didn't do it, and if I didn't convince my husband, being like, this is what I need, and advocate for myself, I would not be breastfeeding. I would not have the emotional status that I have right now. And I would probably not have ever even tried again. I would have attempted once, and then that was it. And y'all kept pushing me to try and try again. And I kept trying, and now we're here, and I love it. I love breastfeeding. I love what y'all have done, because you are there. You are there 24/7. And I could text y'all being like, okay, this is how I'm feeling, or this is what's happening. And y'all were there to answer my questions. And that you don't get that.
You're gonna make me cry over here. Goodness gracious. Oh my gosh.
Well, even my husband and my mom, they're like, you would not be where you're at right now if you didn't have them to help. Because the only way I would have gotten help was to go to the hospital, and I'm not about to do that in this corona little pandemic that we're in. So I really do contribute all of the success that I am having to y'all. And I appreciate everything that y'all have ever done for me, because even whenever I have a screaming 3-year-old running around, y'all are still there.
We're so happy to be there for you too. Oh my goodness. We love you so much. Seriously.
You're making me, I feel like so many calls I've gotten so emotional because I'm just like, you are like taking every obstacle and just tearing everything down. Like you are getting it done. And I'm just so proud. Like, you know, we worked with you for 3 months now, and like just from where you were when we first started to where you're at now, like huge difference. Like I can tell, like you are confident, you are like, you know, obviously everything's crazy and all that, but you definitely, you know, you're where you wanted to be for sure. Like all of that, you know, you've moved here and you've gotten everything done. I'm just like so incredibly proud of everything that you've done. I know this is about you, but I just wanted to put that out there.
Well, even just like the little messages that I would be like, okay, this is how I'm feeling, or this is what the problem, and y'all immediately would text me back or whatever, and yeah, every single time y'all would put at the end, like, you're doing great, or you're awesome, or you're a great mom, or like any little things like that, that pushed me just a little bit farther to be like, okay, I can make it through this day, or I can do this. I just needed that little like push to push me over the edge in a sense.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. You're awesome. Another one in there. Is there anything else that you'd like to say or add to this, or anything for anyone that's watching?
I think one thing, if you're ever scared to do it, just talk to y'all, because even just the little conversations that I had before I even signed up was helpful too, because y'all were there even whenever I was like on the fence of doing it, and y'all were, and then whenever I did start the one-on-one, even for my first pregnancy, I was so emotional and so awful even afterwards, and y'all have helped even with the emotional part of it, because becoming a new mom, even if it's the second time around, it's emotional, and y'all even helped me with the emotional part, not just the breastfeeding and the nutrition, but the emotional part that comes along with being a new mama, because it's hard, and y'all were there, and I am so grateful for that.
Crying.
We're so grateful that we got all of this out of our program, you know, as much as we're, you know, there day to day, but this is what's really, you know, the important thing is like you're meeting your goals and you're feeling, you know, confident in it too. So just amazing. You're amazing.
Yes.
And if you ever need anything, just let us know. But we're so grateful that anybody who's watching had the opportunity to hear your story, because you are just such a star mama, if you did ourselves. So do you have anything else before we close up? Katelyn, you have anything else before we stop recording?
No, I just love y'all so much, and I'm sad to leave.
Listen, you're coming back. You're having another baby.
Yes. Yes.
Part of nutrition.
Okay? I will convince my husband to do that.
What's part of never end? Okay. All right. Bye, everybody.